Okay, welcome to another episode of Millionaire Barbers Mastermind Group. Now, tonight we have Brad from Mississippi, but now he's in Chicago running a multi-million-dollar barber school. They have about 3 schools, owning all the real estate. And Brad is a former school owner, but he went on and moved to Chicago to run this million-dollar operation. He has a lot to share with you all. He's been where you all want to go. He's been there, done that, and got plenty of the t-shirts. So without further ado, Brad, I just want you to start from the beginning, from your childhood. A lot of people look at you now, but they don't know what you've been through. So tell everybody who you are, Brad.
All right, my name is Brad. I'm Lott. I'm from Grenada, Mississippi. 46 years old. I was born in a family of 12 brothers and sisters. I'm the youngest. Went to high school, graduated high school. Never knew what I really wanted to do in school. And so my mom told me to go to school to be a doctor. And I knew I wasn't smart enough to be no doctor. But in her mind, I was smart enough to be anything I wanted to be. But I didn't have that self-motivation to just do it myself at the time. So I went off to school, Northwest Community College for social work. I've always been a sociable person, so I was following my friends, and I ended up getting out of school. I moved to Atlanta with my sister for a little while. My mom didn't want me to go. Went out there. I had a brother-in-law that taught me to go into barber school. He took me to the barber shop and saw how the barbers were making all this money. At this particular time, I was probably like around 22 years old, maybe 20 or something like that. But anyway, he inspired me. I was cutting my little nephew hair, jacking him up. And my mom got sick with cancer. I was living in Atlanta. And I left everything in Atlanta and moved back home, took care of my mom, got her stable. And she was dying from cervical cancer. Got her stable, went to Barber School, Kahoma Junior College in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And once I was there, I entered the building, signed up. They was giving me a hard time to get in school. I got in and I started talking to the instructor there, Jesse Nunley. Hats off to him, good instructor, he trained me well. But I wanted to own my own school. I felt like barbering, just being a barber wasn't enough for me. I was always very adventurous and wanted to do something outside the box. And so when I did all that, I graduated barber school. 2 weeks later, my mom was in the hospital. She died. And I went in with my little certificate. I graduated barber school. And she said, I'm going to get you something, son. I'm going to do something for you. I said, no, I don't want you to do anything for me. All I want you to do is understand that I put my mind to do something and I accomplished it. And whatever you put your mind to do, you have to go to the end. And don't plant a seed and go dig it up. Put it in the ground, water it, and it'll grow. And my instructor told me one day, he said, man, you ain't gonna own no barber school. You just talking. So I'm gonna get me a barber shop, I'm gonna get me a barber school, and I'm gonna train barbers and all this. I already told him this, and I was probably maybe 22 years old. And what ended up happening is my mom passed away, we buried her or whatever, and I was like in limbo, like what I need to do with my barber license. So I ended up getting a job at the local fire station, became a firefighter, and I said, I still want to open my shop. But I used the money from the fire department and I pumped it into my business. And I ended up, instead of me having to buy a shop, I was blessed with a barbershop. Somebody actually gave me a barbershop. Now, I believe in tithing. So I just got to take you, and we got to talk about God as well, because what people don't understand, if you don't put God first, you're going to lose. Anytime you use the vision or anything to solve a problem, if you don't carry the one, you're going to lose. And everybody know who the one is. That's God, because that's who's going to help you solve your problems. And so I was more focused on getting my shop and, getting all this stuff together. So somebody gave me a barbershop. I was in there working in my barbershop, and I started hiring barbers. And this was around like 23, 24 years old. And I ended up getting married, and I had went to school to get my instructor license before I even started this barbershop. And I sat on my license, and they took all my hours away from me. And once they took my hours away, I had to go back to barber school to get my instructor license again, going to the fire department, 24 hours, getting off 2 days, going to instructor school to get some license hours that I had already had, and I lost. And so what ended up happening is I ended up getting my license back and getting my hours back. When took my state board exam, I failed it the first time, the instructor exam. Went back and took it all over again, and then I ended up passing or whatever. Still working at the fire department. I worked there for 14 years as a lieutenant. My ex-wife is a doctor, and we had a beautiful family and all this. And so I ended up opening my barber school. I told the lieutenant, I told the captain one day, I'm quitting the job. He said, why are you quitting? I said, because I don't need to work for people that I'm smarter than. And he thought I was crazy because I was leaving a job that was mandated by the government, by the city, or the whatever you want to call it, the little citizen job in the fire department. But I decided I wanted to go further in life than to have to punch a clock and work, quote unquote, for somebody. And everybody mindset is not like this. This is not everybody's journey. If you own this journey, make sure it's your calling and not just something you're doing because somebody else is doing it. So your call and your gift will make room for you. And so I ended up working at the fire department 14 years. I was a lieutenant, and I set a certain date out, October 11, 2015, that I was going to open up a barber school. I didn't tell a lot of people. I had been telling people I'm going to open up a barber school. And when you keep telling people something you ain't doing, they think you're a liar. But it takes a tree so long to grow. It takes a plant so long to grow. But first you got to put the seed in the ground. So if a baby get here before 9 months, it's premature. If a baby get here on time, it lasted its birth cycle in order for it to be born. And so I didn't want to be premature jumping out doing something that I didn't have the strength to do. Mindset was there, but didn't have the strength to do or the capital to do what I need to do. But like I said before, when you are destined to do something, you have to put seeds in the ground and you have to water the seeds. Most farmers plant seeds inside of a garden or a big wide field or whatever, and they water it daily. And the sun come down, it rests on the seeds and the water, and then for long it starts to germinate. So whenever you got a dream in mind, put it on paper. That's your way of putting the seed in the ground because you writing it down. Don't try to keep all this stuff in your head because you're gonna lose with trying to keep everything in your brain. Write it down. That's why you got footnotes and pens and paper to write stuff down. But at the end of the day, to make the long story short, I was at the fire department. I quit the fire department. I said I'm gonna have my school open by October 11th, 2015. And what I was doing in the process, I ended up working for the Mississippi State Board. I became a state board inspector way before I opened up my school. And the reason, what made me really want to open a school, I started catching a lot of unlicensed barbers in barbershops, writing them fines and all that. And I said, you know what? Somebody's not teaching our people on how to be entrepreneurs and do it in a way that is legal and not where you had to be running around looking over your I became a barber inspector and I was doing all these shops, and I told them, I said, I can't work for you guys anymore either because I wanted to open me a barber school. And they told me, well, you can't have a barber school and work for the state. And so I said, that's fine. So I went out and I had some money saved up, a few dollars saved up, and I took those monies and I used them as currency, what it's supposed to be used for in the first place. So I started buying stuff and investing in different things. And I was buying barber chairs. I would go online and buy used barber chairs. And I started telling a few people what I was doing. They started investing in me. So around November of, may have been November, no, December 20, I'm sorry, let me get my dates right. March of 2016, went to a hair show in Jackson, Mississippi. I wasn't gonna go, and I said, and something just said, you need to go to the hair show. Got to the hair show, ran into this guy named 𝗙𝗏𝗏, aka Chin, that had a booth set up and had the millionaire ex-convict on his booth. And I looked at him, I said, what this joke over here talking about? Because I'm looking at him like, ain't no way he got this booth set up telling me he the millionaire ex-convict. I said, who wants to go to his booth? And I decided to go over there and see what this gentleman was all about, because I was not supposed to be at this hair show, because I wasn't going. I drove 115 miles to Jackson, Mississippi by myself. Gets over there and get to talking to Chin, and here it is, what, 4.5, 5 years later, we still friends, because he shared some information with me that changed my life. And he told me his testimony, what he did. He never bragged about his school and anything. He told me about his testimony and how he got to be where he is, the millionaire ex-convict. And he ain't ashamed about what he's doing, and that inspired me. So I guess I went back home. I'm charged up. I'm really buying barber chairs now. And I had opened my school up on October 11th, like I planned to do. And I was at a hair show in Atlanta. And he said, oh, we got Brad coming in the room. How many people in this? First of all, let me bag up. We was in Jackson. He said, how many people in this room own a barber school? It was probably 150 people in the room. I'm the only one raised my hand and had a barber school. He said, come on up here. He said, I used to be the janitor. I used to be the financial aid guy, whatever. I used to answer the phone. I'm the secretary. I did everything myself. And I said, man, I'm doing the same thing you doing right that you did. I'm doing it right now. So I thought that what I was doing was the wrong path, but I was on the right path, because everybody don't have this platform that you guys have now to tell them how to do this. I asked the guy how to open up a barber school. All he told me, man, it's hard, doc. That's all he had to tell me. Never told me how to do it, what to do. So me and Chin became friends. He probably got tired of me calling him. I used to blow his phone up. And one day I was married at the time. Me and my wife went up to Chin on our anniversary in Nashville. We went to Chin's place on our 14 or 15-year anniversary. We up there at the Barber College in Nashville, talking to Chin. He walked me around the school, showed me this, showed me that. And I was inspired since then that I was doing the right thing, because once you start doing the right thing, you're going to attract people that's doing the same thing that you're doing, and that'll take you to the next level. Forget about the naysayers, and people going to talk about you. They talked about Jesus. They talk about you, your grandmama, your auntie, your whole family. They talk about y'all, but guess what? Let them talk. Talking is a stepping stone for your destiny and go to the next level. I got to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. I ran my barber school. I had a 95% pass ratio at my barber school. I graduated probably about 60, 65, 70 students from my school. Half of those students have barbershops, working in barbershops, doing things in the barber industry. They've opened up, some of them opened up their own schools, and I'm thankful for it. But I got to tell you about life. There's a thing called life, okay? Even on the journey to your school, there's something called life that all of us got to go through. Chin been through it, but guess what life does? Life make you understand that you can do anything possible in this world if you focus on what you're supposed to be focused on. You can't focus on what life does. Life gonna bring seasons in your life. The weather brings seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall, tornadoes, everything come your way. But you gotta rise above all that. Chin always told me something. He said, Brad, I'm gonna mark you for a minute, Chin. Brad, I don't hang out with eagles. I don't hang out with pigeons. I hang out with eagles. You gotta keep feeding the eagles. And everybody always laughing at me because I can mark Chin, because he's been a big inspiration to me. He's a brother that I didn't have when it come down to entrepreneurship and business. And so I went through a divorce. I was married for 17 years, went through a divorce, and I was debating whether I wanted to keep my school open or close it. You're gonna go through some points. You got to call these jokers and say, hey, man, where my money at? You owe me $15. What that happened? Well, I had to buy my auntie Nan's a spare tire. You know, they'll tell you anything just so you can not to pay you. So don't worry about them moments. Keep moving. That's why you got to have your little nest egg or something put up so you able to go through those weary days when you ain't got these students that don't want to pay you. So I went through all that, went through my divorce, and I ended up moving to Chicago. I said, I'm gonna get out of Mississippi. I closed my school down. I said, I'm gonna move to Chicago. I had a brother that lived here. And when I moved, I said, I'm gonna move up here. And I gotta be honest with you guys. So let me tell you the truth. I was broke when I moved here. I came to Chicago with $100 in my pocket and I got on the Amtrak train 3 years ago. I said, I'm going to Chicago. I'm finna become a truck driver. I'm gonna get in me a truck and just drive and ride all over the world. Forget barber. I ain't studying no barber school. I ain't studying no barber nothing. And I got to Chicago and I met a guy. I got here on a Sunday 3 years ago. And Monday morning, I had a friend that was going to a barber school here in Chicago. He said, man, come by. I want you to talk to the owner. I said, man, I ain't going by to talk to no owner. I ain't trying to work in no barber school, man. I told him I'm done with that. I went to talk to the owner with a T-shirt on, some shorts, some tennis shoes with no socks, and a beat-up polo hat. Went in and talked to the owner, and he said, man, the finance aid director was there, the owner, his wife was there, and these people millionaires. And they looking at me, and I said, man, I do this, and yeah, I run the barber school, whatever. And he said, oh, man, nice to meet you, man, and everything. I said, okay. And of course, I told him I knew you, Chin. That messed him up. And they said, you know Chin? How you know Chin? You don't know him. I said, I know Chin. You need me to call him. They said, no, you ain't got to call him. Don't call him. Don't worry about it. So Monday, I left the shop, left the school. Monday afternoon, the guy called me. And he said, man, I need your help. He said, I don't know why, but God put you in me and my wife's spirit real heaven. I need your help. And he said, can you start Wednesday? I said, yeah, I can start Wednesday. So that Wednesday, 3 years later, I ain't get to go to truck driving school. I pretty much run the school. I'm the administrator there and do a whole bunch of other stuff there. When I left Mississippi, I had a 1993, no, I had a 2002, Nissan Pathfinder, trying to hold on to my little car because I didn't want to, it was paid for. I don't believe I got something that's running and paid for. I'm finna keep riding till the wheels fall off. I ain't going out here and get all these big car notes and stuff because I just went through a divorce. But when God got a destiny for you, when you got something you're supposed to be doing, I don't care how you get there. I don't care if you get there on horse and buggy. You can get there in a wagon with your foot outside kicking and making the thing go up a hill or whatever you got to do. Don't stop doing what you're doing because these people blessed me. They gave me a Dodge 1500 truck, black, just bigger than the truck that I had. They pay me very well. Matter of fact, they give me bonuses, and these people are like family to me. Now, mind you, I'm older than these people, but I pretty much run the school in Calumet City. I have access to all the whatever I need with this school because I chose to take my talents and the gift that God put in me and use it to raise young people, African American, white, Hispanic, whatever color, in a field that won't ever go nowhere, and that's barbering. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 1 said, take thy barber razor and part the hair. So barbering ain't going nowhere. It's here. And whatever other kind of career you have in the hair industry is not going to go anywhere because guess what? It was founded. We have history behind what we do. Entrepreneurs been around since Solomon. Entrepreneurs been around since Moses. So entrepreneurship is never going anywhere. It's all about what you want to do to fight for what you need to go farther than what you need to go. One of the people here said we walking in the church, but at the end of the day, God was an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, when he created you, he created mindset. He didn't create just an individual. He created a mindset. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. Okay. So I don't know whatever else you want me to say, Chin, I can say it, but It's been a blessing to me to be here. Um, I'm training students with round cell hair. I'm training Hispanic students. I had no Hispanic students coming out of Mississippi, my school. I even have a student from the Ukraine. And it's been it's interesting journey. Meeting new people. Chin, I meet so many Nigerians, some of your kinfolk up here that is amazing. And I always wanted to be a person that meet different nationality people and help cross the borders of racial lines and become entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship is about network, and you can't do anything in entrepreneurship if you don't network. This is a network that my friend Chin have here to inspire. We go to the church a lot of time to get inspired. We go to the mosque, but guess what? We getting inspired right now through.
I think we got a delay, Brad. So we're gonna see. We're gonna get this back. You good now? Come on.
Okay, that's somebody trying to call me. Some always trying to interrupt a good word, Jen. You know how I go. But at the end of the day, just keep striving for your dream. I had all my barber chairs piled up in my garage, barber chairs, stations, and all that piled up in my garage, just sitting there. And my wife at the time, like, you need to get this mess out of here. It's too much junk piled up in here. But I felt like Ice Cube on Friday on Barbershop. I'm gonna go. I'm getting where I'm going. I don't care. He had that radio down in that basement blowing up them speakers and all that, whatever, the equalizers. You got to keep fighting for what you want. You pigeons with you because you got to feed them pigeons. And the harder the wind blow, the higher the eagle fly. People say, man, you crazy. You moving to Chicago. That's the worst place in the world. I said, well, you know what? I don't know how bad it is. I ain't been there. But it's better than where I am right now. So I'm going to see what's over there. And it looked like to me, Chicago been the promised land for me. Some people don't get out of places they've been born in, mindset wise or geographical wise, and they'll never know what they can do until they get out of a certain location and out of a certain mindset. And that's all, pretty much all I got, Chin.
Now, as far as we have a lot of future school owners on here, Brad, um, you want to hit on anything, any key points that you feel that they need to know going through this journey? Because some of them have not opened schools yet. We have a lot of stylists, a lot of barbers. What would you say to them?
To the barbers, the barber stylists, salon owners, those that inspired to open up a school, make sure it's what you want. I basically would, first of all, go get your instructor license. That if you have those, that's a wonderful thing to have. If you want to open up your own school, I would probably tell you to go work for someone else at their school and learn what you. It's a training camp. My son just graduated from boot camp in the military, and everything has a training camp. If you want to be successful, go to the training camp, because sometimes we get out here and do things and we don't know enough that'll take us to the next level. I worked for a barber school before I opened up my school, and the guy came in, he fired me, right? I ain't tell y'all that part. I worked there for 4 months, and the guy fired me because he found out I wanted to open up my own barber school. So he fired me and told me he didn't have enough money to pay me. But I went in the door, like we say down south, I went in the door to learn how to run the barber school. So I learned in 4 months what I need to learn. And he called me and told me that, he said, man, I'm going to have to let you or the other instructor go. He said, I ain't got enough money to pay y'all. He a financial aid-based school, so I knew he was lying. So, I said, man, let me tell you something. I said, let that young lady keep her job. I said, I got a job. I was working at the fire department. I had a job. I said, man, just let me go and I'm good, and let her keep her job. He said, you for real, man? He said, oh, okay, then we'll just do that. He wanted to let me go anyway. That he brought it to me, but I gave him a good ultimatum, let her keep her job, because I had a job. And it wasn't long after that I opened up my own school. But go buy you some equipment. Don't spend all your savings. And, if you got a grandmama that got a mason jar somewhere with a bunch of money in it, Go tell grandma what you're trying to do, and you need to make sure you telling her this is really what you want to do, and she might loan you a few dollars. You can't get no money from the bank. Don't give up. Write down what you want your school to look like. I had a old tablet with pages torn. I had drawn a picture of how I want my school to look. And when I got ready to open up my building, I said, man, I don't know how I want this. And I was looking through some old paperwork and found that old picture of that school I wrote and set my school up just like that. So put stuff on paper, write it down. I know that may be a little old school, but stick it on your refrigerator with one of them magnets, one of them 𝗵𝗄 magnet thing we used to stick on our refrigerator when I was a kid. We used to stick stuff on a calendar or something with that little magnet. Stick it on your refrigerator, look at it every morning and say, you shall come to pass. Just tell that school on that paper, you should come to pass. Somebody come to pass. Somebody gonna think you crazy. Jen, I remember that story you told me. So you had 2 students. You was down there talking about, man, look at all these students in this building. I got students everywhere. There's 1 with 2 people in there. But whatever you put in the atmosphere, it shall return. If you believe it and you put it in the atmosphere, it's gonna work.
Now, when you and Komasi came down, how was that? When y'all drove?
Oh man, we drove from Chicago to Nashville. Great trip to go stay with Chen at his house, and all he was doing was still dropping the same knowledge he'd been dropping since I met him in 2015 or 2014, and had a great, awesome trip. I even got phone calls from some pictures and stuff he posted by people who want to open up schools, and I'm giving them information. I appreciate that too, Chen. I already told you that, but it's been an awesome experience being around somebody with great caliber, the millionaire barber, because he has a great inspiration on a human being that's got enough sense to want to be an entrepreneur that will listen and take the information and apply it, and it'll work for you. Awesome trip, Chen.
How was Komasi?
How is he?
How was he after he left?
Oh man, when he left there, he was a changed man. For you guys that don't know Komasi is a very different kind of dude. But when he left there, he was very excited. We got back to Chicago and we hit the ground running. Jen encouraged him to take his prices up. He said, if you're already charging $16,000, you might as well charge 20. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. And we've been at that 20 grand, Jen, and it's been working. So if the man telling you guys something, and I'm just a replica of him, if he's telling you something, believe it, trust it, walk in it, and it's gonna work. And one thing I like about you, Chen, I appreciate you have an open line to people that call you. You say millionaire barber, but he act like that normal person. He told me when I was in Mississippi, he said, man, I don't worry about these people. I go buy these shirts out of Walmart and put on some black pants. I wear the same pants every day. He loved to say every day. So he put it don't matter about what you got on. It's matter about what's wrapped in your mindset. All the extra stuff will come. Most millionaires and entrepreneurs don't let you know everything they're doing by the clothes they wear. It's by the sound of their voice and the knowledge that come out of their mouth and the wisdom. That's how you know who they are. Because I can go put on a 3-piece suit and be broke as the 10 Commandments. And I ain't got nothing. I got a 3-piece suit on looking good in a borrowed Bentley. So that ain't about nothing. I ain't knocking it, but the truth is a light.
Now, when I don't know if Komasi ever told you this, but when you told him that you knew me, did I ever tell you that he called me?
I already knew he called you. You ain't had to tell me because it wasn't for long. It wasn't long that he called me back and said, man, we need you now. We need you on board. And I'm sure you told him, yeah, I know Brad and his value and this. I'm sure that's what you told him.
Yeah, he asked me about your integrity, your character, if you was a man of God. So we have to watch the bridges that we cross, because we might have to go back across them, and you never know. So honesty, integrity, being a woman of God, man of God, they can take you a long way. The same way Kamasi asked me about you, Ms. Bevel, my mentor, when I went in her office 22 years ago, out to get in her program, it wasn't about money with her. She said, I don't know if I should get involved with you because of my past. She called a few people. So just by someone's word, and the fourth level to wealth, y'all need to listen to this, is network. Your network can determine your net worth. And when I met Miss Velma, I was literally broke. I just had a little money, enough to open my school, didn't even have enough money to pay to get in the program. She let me do a payment plan. But just by somebody co-signing saying he made a mistake, is a good person, or whatever. So your attitude will determine your altitude, and honesty will take you a long way in life. What would you tell some of the future school owners right now, some of the things they're going to hear from people? Because when you start thinking big and thinking out of the box, and when God has planted that seed in you to do big things, great things, they hear a lot of noise. So can you tell them something about that?
Oh man, you couldn't live in a little small town where I'm from. You put a school there, they think you rich. They're gonna talk about you. When I closed my school, I was talked about. I knew he wouldn't make it. I knew he wasn't gonna do this. But when they see you rising, you're gonna have haters. I had people coming in my school as students that didn't like me, and they just came there to see what was going on. Parasites come to suck the blood out of you and put all kind of discouragement in your mind to stop you from moving forward. Um, even people that you thought that was your friends, when you start going to another level, they gonna fall off. You ain't got to cut them off. Some of them just gonna walk away anyway. They ain't gonna even stay around you. You ain't got to cut them. They just not gonna stay around you. Um, and when you see this, don't get discouraged. When you see maybe a spouse that you may be with, married to, that don't understand your vision and your goals that you're trying to accomplish, you can't get mad about that, because anytime you go against the grain, you make a fade. Since we want to talk about haircut in the industry a little bit, I fade against the grain. So even in life, you want to fade and you want to go do something different, you got to go against the grain. You can't do the norm. If when you're doing things outside the box, you getting outside of a bunch of people that in your circle. If you the smartest person in your circle, you know you in the wrong circle. And I ain't telling you get in no circle with no bunch of people that know everything. You want to get somebody in a circle with somebody know more than you. So when you start to open up, all kind of obstacles gonna come. But at the end of the day, don't worry about that. Every woman is in this room. Listen to me. Um, I'm not a male, but I know when my water broke, and I know the labor pains that I went through to get to where I'm trying to go. So go through the pain. Go through let your water break. Where we go through the pain, when your water break, you're going to know it. When it's time for you to do what you got to do, you're going to know it. And guess what? The road ain't going to be easy, but I can guarantee you one thing. At the end of the road, it's a light with your name on it, and it's a reward there waiting on you if you just don't stop. And don't get in no hurry. I was talking to my students today about the hair in the turtle. The turtle running all over the place, wide open. I'm telling you, he running 100, not 100, but 100 chin. And so you got to slow down and think about what you're doing. Get the right people on your team, and you can cross the finish line. It's just that easy. I don't really know anything else to tell you, but if you put the seed in the ground, keep watering it. And it takes a little time for a seed to grow. Every seed is not going to grow fast. It takes time. But some seeds grow pretty fast. You know, you put the right kind of, some people want to put some extra stuff on their seed to make it do what it got to do. If you lazy, go on dig your seed up and give it to somebody else and let them plant it, because you ain't going to make it. Just dig it up, because if you're not lazy and you ready to do this, put the seed in the ground, put the water on it, and watch it increase all day. You don't have a choice but to increase. You know, that's what the ground do. It births seeds that get put the nutrients in there. It births seeds. So that's pretty much it, Chen.
Now, when you watering that seed and they
Mm-hmm.
don't see it growing, because a lot of times when God gives us a vision and that seed, and Tyler, he talked about faith the size of the mustard seed. I talked to him the other day, and he had these little seeds, his minister preached. So when you plant that seed and water it, and they don't see it growing, because a lot of us are walk by sight instead of by faith. So we water the seed and it's not growing. So what should they continue to do? What should they do?
Sometimes you can sometimes you can dig that seed up because the ground might not be right that you're putting it in. And you could put seeds in certain areas that where it's not supposed to be. What I mean by that is you define location is one thing, that's everything. Um, but you have to realize that any seed, my mom was a florist, and I used to watch her um, plant these this what is that stuff called? Aloe vera, the aloe vera plant. I
Mm-hmm.
used to watch her put them seeds in there, and I used to say, man, this stuff ain't gonna do nothing. And she used to put potatoes in sweet potatoes in these jars with the little toothpicks in them. And I'd be like, why are you doing that? And all of a sudden, a few days go by, a few weeks go by, and I start to see little stuff sprouting in there. And then all of a sudden, this green planting stuff start blooming. But every now and then, she would go get this stuff called Miracle Grow. And she would take this Miracle Grow and mix it in some water with some blue green looking stuff and pour it in there. And that gave it even more strength. So I asked her one day, I said, what you putting the Miracle Grow in there for? She said, because the plants sometimes need a little help. And you can put water on that plant, it ain't doing nothing. So you might need to go get you some help, get you some advice, because you might be doing the wrong thing. You might not be watering that plant enough every day, or you might be watering it too much. So you need advice, you need mentors and people that'll help you take you on along the way. Every time my plant wasn't growing like I wanted to grow, I picked the phone up and called Chen. Hey, Chen, what I need to do about this? He said, man, you need to do this right here and tell them jokers this right here and watch what happens. I tried it. That was a Miracle Grow I needed to help that plant to grow. You need people, but you need the right people, not the wrong people. So Jesus said, I got 12 disciples and one of y'all the devil. So let the devil get off the team and then the team can work like it's supposed to work depending on who you have on your team. Go ahead, Chen.
Well, no, you said a lot. What would you say to people that try to do everything by themselves? Just say a school owner right now is on his, and they're gonna open up a school and they're gonna try to do everything by themselves. What kind of advice
Well,
would you give them?
I I found out in my third year that I was not an octopus. And what I mean by that, I ain't have but so many arms. And an octopus got all kind of extra help that he needed. And I ended up going to get me some help because you can't answer the phone. Well, I ain't gonna say you can't. Let me take that back. I don't like that word, can't. It ain't no good word to use, but you will burn yourself out trying to do everything by yourself. And I understand why people do it, Chen. They want to protect the seed that they put in the ground. It's almost like a chicken hovering over her chicks while they baby's trying to protect them. But every night, it's gonna come time you got to open the wings and let that chick do what it need to do. So you got to find somebody that you can trust that will that's got you don't want them to be you, but you want them to have the same mindset in a sense that they can help you do what you need to do. I used to get my kids and have them jokers down there working, emptying the garbage cans and writing down, grading test papers and everything. So you got to do what you got to do if you don't have any help. But just because you started by yourself, don't mean you got to end it by yourself. Because there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have more help and you're gonna be firing folks. You ain't gonna need all that help. So keep going until the help come, and keep going until you feel like, you know what, I don't want to get burnt out. Because teachers and school owners, business owners get burnt out because they trying to do everything by themselves. Well, I can't pay these folks. Well, I tell you what you do. Go find some kids at a high school somewhere that need some extra credit or something to do. Get them jokers down there and let them work. Go find some people. I had a guy got out of prison, came down to my school, and I had him cleaning my building up. He needed a job. He had just got out of federal penitentiary. Didn't have no job. They wouldn't give him no job. I hired this joker, and excuse me for using joker. I got that from Kamashi But I hired him and I helped him out, and he cleaned my school. He cut my grass for me. Because he was wanted, and I ended up giving him a scholarship to go to my barber school as well. So some things you have to use your mind and use your head for more than a hat rack and come up with stuff and figure out ways to do things. Some people you might call and talk to about how they do their business running by themselves. They can give you some good advice. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I don't meet strangers. I wish I could see everybody's face in here right now. I act like I've been knowing y'all my life. I don't meet strangers. Entrepreneurs don't meet strangers. They meet people that are connected to them. And that's what happened with Chen and I and Komasi and I met people that was already connected to my destiny. I just happened to run into them this far in the game.
Okay. You shared a lot with us. I know we're probably at the end of the hour almost. What would you like to leave us with? Because what I'm going to do, I want to put this on YouTube, this one. I'm also going to put it in a mastermind group because there are thousands of barbers all over the world. And a lot of them, and stylists, and nail technicians, and estheticians and makeup artists that aspire to have a school. And they're going to be watching this and they're going to be listening because they're going to hear a lot of naysayers too. A lot of them want to open schools for different reasons. Some of them want to make a lot of money. Some of them are tired of working behind the chair. Some of them, God has called them to do greater things. They can't sleep at night. They're tossing and turning. Some of them are teaching students that have graduated from a school and they reteaching them, retraining them in their salon and shop. So we got a lot of different reasons some of them want to give back to the community. So what would you leave with these people that are scratching their head, thinking and wondering? What would you leave with them?
If this is something that you really want to do, I say do it. I never knew I could open up a school until I tried it, because sometimes you don't have a blueprint. But if you got a blueprint in front of you, it makes it a lot easier. I didn't have a blueprint until I met Chen, but my desire was to open up a school. Those of you that's going in this field to make money, there's plenty of money in there. You're going to spend money, but you're going to make money. Those of you that want to go in there because you see that you're training these students in your shop and they're in a salon, make sure you're capable of teaching them, going to a school and being able to teach. Learn the book. It ain't just about owning the building. You need to learn. If you're going to be an instructor, you need to learn the book. I was the teacher. I was the school owner. So I did all of that. I'm just blessed to be able to, I know the book. I know how to cut hair. I know how to teach people how to cut hair. Some teachers just know how to teach. Some teachers know how to cut hair. But then you got some teachers that know how to do both. So if you know how to do that and you're capable of doing that, do it. I don't remember how old I was. I think I opened my school when I was like 40, maybe 40, 39 or something like that. And I told myself I want to be doing something by a certain age, and that's what I did. But if you want to do this, guys, ladies, gentlemen, take the blueprint. Use Chen, use him up. He don't mind you call him. You can call my phone, but once you get so much water on your plant, it's time for something to come out the ground. If you dreaming about this, you waking up and dreaming about this, you sweating, cold sweating your t-shirts or whatever, sweat it out because you dreaming about this, you need to go do it. And especially if you older, you definitely need to get on the ball and do what you need to do. I would probably, if I ever was to decide to open up another, I probably will open up another barber school one day. But I don't really need to open up another barber school because I'm doing some now, and I enjoy doing it. I can go teach at a school in Russia. It don't make a difference. I love barbering, and if you love school that much and love barbering that much, get you a school. One thing it'll do is help you retire from behind the chair. Yeah, it definitely would do that. I don't know if y'all ever read Chin book, but it'll definitely. I don't cut hair. I know how to cut hair. I cut some rounds I had a day at the school with one of my students and helped them out. But I don't really just cut hair. I teach people how to cut hair. And when you become an instructor, sometimes you got to let the owner let the barbershop life go and become an institution, because now it's Noble Barbers as an institution when you got to train people. If you got the ability to change people's lives, once you done taught them about barbering, because these people come in there with more problems than a math book, and you have to be able to give them your life story. Barbering and school owning ain't just about teaching somebody how to do a clip over comb or learn about alopecia and all that. It's another branch to that that comes down where you have to incorporate morals and things of that nature so these people can be successful. And if you have those abilities to do that, I would advise you. I would like the end of the fire to tell you, hey, look, do this. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. If you got license, you're an instructor, and you was inspired to open up a school, Brad say do it. Do it.
Okay. Well, I thank you, Brad. I appreciate you for coming on here sharing your story, the good, the negative, the
The
positive,
bad and the ugly.
yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and talking about God. Because even when I met you and we talked, I knew you were a man of God with faith, and that's the best trait to have. Because without Him, we can't do anything. He gives the increase. I mean, so
Right.
I just thank you for sharing with us. So I'm gonna be sharing this, everybody. This is Brad Lott. So now, do you have some time for Q&A, Brad?
I do.
Okay.